Now returning to our top story and President Barack Obama's historic visit to Havana. Not all Cubans are happy about it. Kilmeny Duchardt is among the exile community in Miami and she joins us now. Kilmeny, what's happening there? What can you tell us?
Sally, we are at Cafe Versailles, one of the most famous Cuban restaurants in southern Florida here. And let me tell you, this is an issue that has continued to divide Cuban-Americans. Take a look at what's happening behind me. These are far-right, conservative Cuban-American protesters. They are rolling over photos of the Democratic Party. A lot of Cubans, when they came to the States, they identified more with Republicans, particularly because they felt that democracy too closely reflected communism. And certainly all of these protesters are very outraged over President Obama's visit. They say that he didn't negotiate anything for the Cuban-American people prior to visiting Cuba. I want to bring in Eduardo Rivera. Eduardo Rivera has been out here all morning. Eduardo was born to Cuban immigrants and has lived in Miami for 20 years. Eduardo, tell me what's going through your mind right now.
Well, actually, we feel very embarrassed on the fact that from day one, before he became president, he was going to have change. There's no change for us or for them. At the end of the day, they weren't even greeted today at the Cuban International Airport, the Jose Marti. Not even any president hasn't been there in 90 years, and he's not even greeted by the president of Cuba. So what kind of welcome is that? That's a slap in the face, us as Americans, and to the Cuban government as well. All he's attributing is to the Communist Party. He's supporting Fidel Castro, and Raul, he's not doing anything for the Cuban people itself. So we're, as Cubans, Americans, we're here to protest against Obama. We're ashamed of the fact that he represented us even going to Cuba today.
And of course, President Obama today is going to be visiting the famous Plaza de Revolucion, and he's going to be laying a wreath at the Jose Marti Memorial. What are your thoughts on that?
What feeling does he have regarding any Cuban that's given their life, even trying to flee Cuba and to come here today? All I say is that I think he's on vacation. That's what he's actually doing. He's going to the museums. He's not going to meet in the Cuban president's home to see what kind of resolves they can change. And not do anything like that. He's went with his family and kids on vacation. That's what he should have said he was going to go there to do, not to go there and try to change something, because they're not going to change anything.
I know in all of your hearts, you guys dream of the day that U.S. and Cuba will once again be friends again. But tell me, what would you have hoped to have happened before President Obama went to Havana?
There's nothing I can hope for. I haven't even fathomed that idea yet. All I know is that he's doing the wrong thing by going to Cuba. That many people here, Cuban-Americans, are very upset on the fact we're not being supported by him in any way, because that's not showing support. That's supporting the Cuban communist regime. That's what he's doing. He's not supporting the Cuban-Americans. He's not doing anything positive. And from day one, he said change. That was on his logo, change. Where's the change? We're still at war. We still have everything that he said that he was promised to do, he hasn't done. So it's embarrassing to me as an American, and also as a shame as a Cuban-American.
Eduardo Rivera, thank you so much for giving us your thoughts this morning. And of course, certainly not all Cuban-Americans feel that way. We've certainly talked to some who are very optimistic about the opportunity to reconnect with their Cuban roots and reunite with their families.